Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Coaching Call podcast. On this podcast, we'll cover various types of coaching by trainers in sports, martial arts, fitness, and business. We'll discuss each coach's methods to getting the most out of their respective athletes or clients and how they attempt to change the platform in which they coach. Join us on a fun adventure as we discuss unique coaching styles. Coaching is a universal part of how we get others to get something done. Join your host, Rafael, and his guests on this unique journey in coaching.
Hi, I'm Sifu Rafael, and this is the Coaching Call podcast. If you enjoy this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. This episode was made possible by listeners like you. Jimmy, my friend, thank you so much. Listen, I am so grateful that you had me on your show. I really appreciate it. I had a blast, by the way. Just happy. And I said, let's jump on. Let's do something really quick because I want my audience to know you and the incredible things that you're starting to do and how we met at Pat Match and just the connection that we made.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, Rafael. And great to meet you at Podfest. Great to meet you last week on my Long Island trip. And thank you so much for coming on my show. I like to interview interesting people that I meet in my travels. And, you certainly qualify as interesting to put them out.
You think I'm interesting?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Some great stories from childhood, your martial arts career and your coaching call and, how you're looking to inspire as many people as possible.
Right. So let's talk about you for a minute. And I like the fact that, you talk to people along your travels and you get to know who they are. So that's kind of cool. And you've probably met so many interesting people along your journey. What was the craziest person you've ever met?
The craziest person I ever met. Wow.
I've met plenty, so.
That's I'll need a minute to think about that one.
Sure. Take your time.
There was somebody who who's not in my life at this point who has had quite a bit of personal drama that she was wading through, and I'm going to keep the specifics of it confidential.
Of course.
But what it forced me to do is just try to stay centered, to try to listen as much as possible, to try to discern what was going on as much as possible.
Right.
So I wouldn't, either get led down a primrose path or, engulfed in that individual's drama.
Yeah. And that's it, to be centered, right? That to align with yourself and let them have their problems. One of the things that I found interesting when you and I you came out to Long Island, you reached out and you said, "Hey, love to see you before I head back." And so we had breakfast, right? And one of the things that I was very pleased to see is that you did a little bit of grace before you ate your food. And we talked about that. So many people are not grateful for the little things, right? And especially, and we talked about it on your show about how the food can heal you or hurt you. But when we think about food, one of the things that I always talk to my food, and one of the things I say is, how are you going to be once I take you in? How are you going to treat my body? So for me, it's yes, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm even alive and able to even feed myself. So many people can't do these things. So it's every little thing. And even grateful for the person that cooked it, grateful for the person that brought it over, grateful for the people that went shopping. There's so many people when we eat a meal at a restaurant that it was because of all of them. It could be 50 people that made that food possible. So why? And so many people are ashamed of saying grace right before they eat. Why were you not?
I I try to have as good a relationship with God as possible.
Hmm.
I'm grateful for what He's done for me, and I learned a habit to start saying grace before meals. I'm what's called Byzantine Rite Catholic. The best way to describe it, it's where the Venn diagram between Roman Catholicism and Greek Orthodoxy overlap. And
Mm.
so I usually say a silent prayer, and I make the sign of a cross a rather unique way, where I have three fingers for the Holy Trinity and two fingers for the dual natures of Christ.
Mm.
So that's part of my ritual as well.
Nice. So you teach me something.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it. So Jimmy Daytona, how'd you come up with that name?
It's an homage to a number of people.
Mm.
I have a really good friend who I actually hung out with yesterday in Old Orchard Beach named Chris Lauderdale, and that's his stage name. And so I was like, if you're going to be Chris Lauderdale, I'm going to be Jimmy Daytona. And so it's part of me an homage to him, but also my aunt and cousins live in the Daytona area, and we
Mm.
used to come all the time growing up. So I'm definitely paying tribute to Aunt Peggy, to Paulette, Tori, and everybody in that part of the family. I have a really good friend from Cornell, Tara, who sold me my Daytona Beach spring break tickets, and now she's one of my best friends. And I had a roommate, Scott, who got me into NASCAR, which has its spiritual and physical headquarters in Daytona.
Mm.
So that combination of things made Daytona a natural coaching name.
Very cool. So what inspired you to actually start your show?
I've had so many people say to me, "You got such a good voice for broadcasting. You should go into radio." Did I tell you should go into radio? So finally, with the help of my mentors, Colin Gallagher and Adam Farfan, I got to the start line. I finally put my foot down and did it. And I have about 10 episodes in the can, and I'm looking forward to many more. There's a lot of people, in music or in politics, in religion, personal friends of mine, that I want to have in my show, in the months and years ahead.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you said that, all different kinds of people, because I think that the variety is definitely what adds spice to life, right?
Certainly.
Yeah, because I mean, you could live a good life if you ate the same thing every day in and out with nothing on it, right? Like I said, if you just had chicken and rice, that's it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you'll still be alive, but it, food won't be fun anymore, right? And for me, I enjoy eating, but sometimes it's so annoying because I'm like, oh, what do I want to eat today? And that's what happens between me and my girlfriend. We have that. It's almost like we have to play rock paper scissors. What do you want? No, what do you want? Well, no, what do you want? You choose, and then it's like, who's going to choose today what we eat? When we think about the variety of people that you not only have had on your show, and thank you so much again for having me on your show, and thank you for thinking that I'm a little quirky for to be on your show. I appreciate that. The impact that we can make in someone's life, I think that's where the quirkiness can be kind of cool, because it's the variety that adds spice to who we are, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. People, they're kind of expected to conform. They're expected to just follow everybody else's mode. And, life can become boring or, devolve into quiet desperation if you're not careful.
Mhm.
I think what I want to highlight is people's, unique talents, interest in sides to them, and their set of interests. So that way I can inspire people, to up level their life. Like, for example, once your show airs, I would think a lot of people might be inspired to either take up martial arts
Mm.
or exercise a lot more or eat a lot better.
Yeah.
And to live life in full, because you're talking to a lot of coaches who can certainly help me and my listeners up level our lives.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things, and I am blessed to be able to have amazing people on my show. And even though this was an impromptu, quick, I just did your show, and I said, "Hey, buddy, I got to get you on mine really quick. And you obliged me. So thank you. But, you're doing something where you're helping people because the people that you talk to share their knowledge. So you're guiding people. Your faith helps you talk to the right people, to ask the right questions. So your faith in God, your faith in you, your faith in what you're doing, and your abilities to really get out there. And the beauty of podcasting nowadays is that you don't have to go apply for the job. All you have to do is hit record and you have the job, right?
Oh yeah, it's so rewarding.
Mhm.
It's so, I mean, I feel like a high anytime I hit the stop button after record. I did 3 interviews on Saturday with the same person,
Mm,
and I did just now. I just felt a sense of accomplishment and a sense of joy
right.
once everything finished up.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. When we think about the gifts, and we talked about that on your show, that we can impart on other people, not only by from ourselves, but the people that we bring into our lives, the gifts they give us, right? But we have to be open because sometimes we close ourselves off. We don't think, sometimes we're so into ourselves that we forget that there's someone there who's actually pouring their knowledge and we're not listening, right? So I think listening is an important aspect of being not only a great coach, but a great mentor, but also just a person who cares, who gives a damn, if you will, for other people, right?
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, I said we're gonna have a quick chat. So this is we're gonna wrap it up about here. But let me ask you, what advice would you give? And I know you just started your show. What advice would you give someone who is on the brink of maybe starting a show? What advice would you give them?
Just put your foot down and do it.
Mm,
I personally use Buzzsprout to feed the episodes out to iTunes, Spotify, Atoll. Network with other podcasters, such as yourself.
mm,
It's a very collaborative industry. It's not a competitive industry. You know, we all can help each other with skill sets, interviewing each other, making new connections with each other and with people beyond that. Um, that would be those would be my big takeaways for anybody who wants to get started.
yeah, beautiful. Jimmy, thank you so much. I know our friendship is going to go on forever and ever. And, when we have more time, I'll definitely bring you on again on my
Thank you.
show.
Yeah, and I'd love to do more episodes with you as well, Sifu Rafael.
Absolutely.
It's
Anytime, my
a
friend.
godsend to meet you.
Yeah. Have an amazing 4th of July, being that it is
Yeah.
4th of July, right?
Yes, happy Independence Day. It's off to a great start thanks to you. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm going to, just a warning to all my friends out there in the world, don't blow up your hands. You know how many hospital visits there are today. It's cool, it's so fun, but you light something up and you think it's a dud, and then you go pick it up and it blows up in your hands. Don't do it. Listen, I've had a crazy childhood with fireworks, and we talked about it on your show. And if you want to listen to that craziness, you have to listen to Jimmy's show so you can listen to how I did my childhood with fireworks. But listen to his show, and everybody, be safe. Leave it to the professionals. They know what to do. All right, guys, have an amazing and blessed day.
Happy Independence Day. Thank you so much.
You got it, my friend. Enjoy.